Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. Can I take your order?
Excellent. Okay, welcome to another special episode of the Animematchcut podcast. As always, I am your humble host, Jack. With me, as always, is my lovely co-host.
Me, what's up, Ryuu? I'm back again.
Oh, back from where? You went on a trip?
I've been silent in Twitch for a while because I've been working more hours. So apologies for anybody wondering why I have not been streaming. It's because of that reason. I've been working more hours. Life sucks, guys. Do you not see the rent that's happening in California? Like, goddamn.
But you know what doesn't suck?
What?
Good Burger.
Oh, well, welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. Can I take your order?
Sure. All right. So today we have a very special episode for you guys. We're going to be reviewing the brand new sequel to Good Burger 2. But before we get into that movie, we're actually going to do a review of the original Good Burger from 1997. So let me ask you this, my lovely co-host. Have you ever seen the original Good Burger?
No, I have not before this recording. This was the first time I ever seen the Good Burger one, the original one.
Interesting, because Good Burger, I do have a little bit of a history with Good Burger. Definitely Good Burger 1. It's one of those movies that I grew up with. It's like one of those childhood nostalgia movies. I just remember Good Burger 1 playing constantly on Nickelodeon. Well, because it is a Nickelodeon movie. So I just remember it being played constantly on that channel. And also...
Yeah, for me, I have not seen it in Nickelodeon. It never showed when I was watching Nickelodeon TV shows.
Oh, okay then.
Yeah, it never shown. It's probably because they wanted to have been more hop and more in tune with the era at the time, I guess.
Well, even when I was a kid, they still played it all the time because it's a Paramount movie, so they can play it for free without, paying for paying like a royalty or whatever. But that's kind of weird that you've never seen it, because I remember, like, even back like in 2010, 2011, it still would constantly play on Nickelodeon from time to time.
Really? I haven't been on TV since that time then.
I don't know. Sometimes you be capping, so I don't know how the audience is going to react to you saying all this crazy shit. But anyways,
I'm being 100% honest. I have never seen the Good Burger before this recording.
Well, yeah, because it might be both. Yeah, it's definitely before your time. You weren't even born when the original Good Burger came out.
Your boy was still swimming inside the sack.
Yeah, swimming inside the sack. Yeah, and because it came out in 1997. And do you know actually where the original Good Burger comes from?
I do not actually.
Yeah, so the original Good Burger, originally Good Burger was not a movie. It was a skit on the show All That, which was kind of like a Saturday Night Live for kids that aired on Nickelodeon. And so the basic premise of the Good Burger movie was from this sketch. And it starred Kel Mitchell, who plays Ed in both the movie and the original sketch. And also from time to time, Kenan Thompson, who's his co-star in the movie, would appear on the sketch. And the two actors, the two main guys from the Good Burger movies, were kind of like a comedy duo. They were basically like a comedy duo in All That, because they would always get paired up in sketches and they would work well together. And they were kind of like the original Drake and Josh, before like Drake. They were they were basically
so
the 90s
they were the
Drake
origins. They're the origins of Drake and Josh. And then the multiverse changed their personalities and their family dynamic into the
my God, you fucking nerd. I'm just trying to compare I'm just trying to relate to the audience to try to make them, understand like the dynamic between these two, and then you have to do all this nerd shit.
I thought an opportunity and you got pissed off, so my mission was completed.
Shut the fuck up with that shit.
My mission was completed. I'm happy now.
Oh my God, is this gonna be the episode? Are you just gonna steamroll me throughout the whole episode?
Perhaps, maybe it may be a opening current.
Are you not gonna engage with the conversation?
I am gonna engage. Yes.
All right, so I'm just giving the audience a little bit of context for this. So Good Burger, it originally started as a sketch. It starred Kenan Thompson and Kel Mitchell, who were like a little comedy duo in the show All That. They worked well together, and so actually, I think this is I don't think it's the first Nickelodeon movie, but this is one of the more earlier ones. I actually think it came out before the Rugrats movie.
Wait, so the Rugrats movie is the animated one, right? Yeah. And this movie we just watched is the live action, but it's supposed to be like cartoonish.
Well, yeah.
Somewhat?
Yeah, because so let's really introduce the movie before
All
we
right, got it.
really get into it. So before we get into that, let's just talk about the original movie. So Good Burger from 1997 is a teen buddy comedy movie that stars Kel Mitchell and Kenan Thompson, and this is a movie adapted from the skit from All That that's also titled Good Burger.
Oh,
and so
okay.
yeah, so let's give our initial thoughts about it. So this, like, again, I mentioned, like, this is kind of like a childhood classic of mine. I know it's not a perfect movie, and I know it's not, like a comedy classic or anything. I do have a lot of nostalgia for this movie because, this is one of the movies that I grew up with, and I have a lot of nostalgic love for it. I really enjoyed it, and I feel that this movie does hold up somewhat well. There are a few things that are kind of outdated about this movie, but we'll get into those as we talk about
And
it.
some scenes didn't age well.
Yeah, definitely. But let me ask you, how did you feel watching Good Burger for the first time?
For the first time watching the original, I just like, what's happening? I don't get this humor. Because I have not seen none of that at all.
Yeah, but have you seen like stuff that came after Good Burger, like Drake and Josh?
Yes, I have
iCarly, and
seen
all that
Drake and
stuff?
Josh, iCarly.
How,
Yeah,
how
those
do you
are.
feel? How do you feel about those Nickelodeon shows?
Those
this,
Nickelodeon shows, I really enjoyed it because one, when Drake and Josh came out, they are all like they focused mostly in skating and all like little skits and that. And I was a little bit interested in skating, so I really liked the show. And iCarly, they were a webtoon series. They make jokes and like make skits. They get paid for it. I kind of wanted to be an entertainer when I saw that as well, so I got interested in that one as well. But Good Burger, it was just a chaotic scene of one special dude liking burgers.
yeah,
and-
special, quote unquote special.
Yes, and his name is Ed.
Special
Ed. So it reminds me of high school, wanting to rip off the hinges of
Oh
the
my
school.
God,
So, anyways, it's just like a chaotic scene of one guy loving this burger joint so much that he just dreams about the Good Burger. That's it. That's all his life is around. Good Burger. Wears his uniform, showers with his uniform,
Yeah.
bathed in his uniform. Like, he just is the Good Burger.
Yeah, the comedy is very wacky. I mentioned to you while we were watching it that this is basically watch this movie as if it were like a live action cartoon. Don't take it too seriously. Just like let like the jokes and the comedy just wash over you. Just accept it that these characters are living in this exaggerated, almost wacky kind of world. But I don't know. You were kind of cringing while we were watching this movie. It's like I don't know what's up with you. It's like it's so hard for you to get into comedy movies. Like, what the fuck is up with that?
I don't know. I just, my humor is different than the comedy humor is given. I don't know.
Because I've known you for a long time.
Yes, you have.
And you say
I'm quite annoying. Yes.
And you say that you're just a silly, goofy dude. But then,
Yes.
then when I show you like a comedy movie, you start cringing and like, oh my God.
I
it's
don't
like
know. I don't know.
You just can't sit back and watch like a comedy movie.
I cannot apparently. Yes.
Oh my God. I'm really gonna reconsider ever recommending a comedy movie for this podcast ever again.
Just show it. Just show it. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, because like, but you just get way too into it. You try to like dissect every little thing about a comedy movie, but like comedies aren't really meant to be like super dissected like this. This isn't like fucking like Star Wars or fucking Halo or something.
Just accept that I dissect everything.
The universe.
I just take it as I dissect everything down to its groundbreaking starting point.
Yeah, but that's like, but that's like not every piece of art, not every story needs to be enjoyed or experienced that way. You get
some people go to watch movies just to be brain dead. Some go watch it to actively charge their brain, and some just go watch it just because they want to just watch it.
Yeah, but it's not like you're watching The Lord of the Rings. You're not
What
watching.
is that?
No, please don't.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Don't fucking do this.
I'm just kidding.
How
I
can
know
you
what
be
Lord of
that
the Rings
much-
is. I've seen the movies.
How can you be that much of a
The actor broke his leg in a motion
of a
scene.
social outcast that you do not know what Lord of the Rings is? Come on.
I know what it is. I just said that so you can stop your rant.
No, but I just find it so weird that like, not every story, not everything is meant to be like super dissected.
There's some
Sometimes,
people out there that does that.
yeah, but you're not enjoying the thing the way that it's meant to be enjoyed. Because sometimes some things are just simple and fun. Other things are meant to be
But
more taken more
why
serious.
is it simple and fun?
Well-
We need to break down the building blocks of why is it
Well-
simple and fun.
well,
Why
I-
is the
well, I
fun
have-
part? Why is simple of it being fun? We
Well,
have
'cause
to go
that's-
down
'cause
to the
that's
breaking
basic-
point.
Because that's what it kind of is. Well, see, because this movie, Good Burger, the original, is essentially it's a kid's film.
Yes, it
you
is.
know?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things in the movie that is meant to appeal to kids. Like for example,
yeah, burgers.
well, not just that. Obviously kids love
Kids love
fast
burgers.
food.
Yeah, exactly.
They
So,
also like
burgers.
wacky humor. They also like so for example, in the movie, the character that Kenan Thompson plays, he's a high schooler. He's just
Just got out of high school
he
for
didn't just
summer
get
break.
out of high school. He was going on summer break. Yeah. So, kids love the idea of like, going to summer break, relaxing for 3 months. But also Kenan Thompson, his main antagonist in the story is this strict teacher that he has.
With the afro.
Yes, exactly. And he's played by the comedian Sinbad. So his teacher, he's this hard ass, he's this strict ass, he's always giving him a hard time. And a lot of kids, and I would feel like a lot of kids, probably experience that or feel that they experience that, in school. They probably have that tough teacher who, cannot give them a break and stuff like that. So, there's things in the movie that happen that, there's things that happen to this teacher that you could see as kind of like a comeuppance. He gets his car destroyed, he gets his property destroyed and stuff like that. So bad things happen to this teacher because, this is kind of like things that kids kind of want to see because I could imagine like a little like fourth grader or something watching this and seeing like, oh yeah, I wish something like that would happen to my teacher, stuff like that. So that's kind of like the core of this movie. It's just to live out sort of like a kid fantasy.
I understand that. Yes. I do sometimes wish that a certain teacher when I was in middle school had the misfortune of something happened to their property.
Yeah, exactly. Because, and kids are always often, they're challenging authority. So, getting to see an authority figure get their comeuppance or get, what they deserve.
Like in the end
is very good. It's very appealing towards kids.
Like what happened in the ending of Good Burger, the first one.
Yeah, exactly. And so also like in the movie, well, the original Good Burger, a lot of the movie is based around a friendship. So,
Yeah.
so if you're a little kid, you watch this movie and you see that, the French, you can identify with the friendship between the two main characters. So, you could be like, oh, this is just like me and my friends. And so, that's kind of like, the point of the movie. The point of the movie is not to like dissect every little line and be like, oh, what's the lore of the Good Burger? Like, what the fuck? What the fuck is that? You just sit back, you just kind of like let the jokes wash over you, and you just kind of enjoy what's going on like on screen.
I bet right now there's someone who actually did a whole lore back of finding what is the Good Burger, and you're just, he's probably listening to this like, how dare you? I dissect the whole thing of Good Burger. How dare you discredit my work?
I mean, yeah, it's like, but I just feel like, I don't know. It's like, well, this is mostly a you problem because
how's it a me problem?
Because I remember like a few years ago, we were kind of like hanging out, and I put on the movie Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, and it's it's one of those comedy movies that I like, kind of a guilty pleasure kind of movies.
Okay,
but then you were just like cringing because you were just like, I don't like this. It's like, what the fuck? It's like, just sit back and enjoy the fucking jokes. Just enjoy all the cursing and all the boobies in the movie.
There were titties?
Well, yeah. Well, if you paid attention to the fucking movie, you would have seen a titty or two.
Yeah, I know. I was just making a joke like there were titties. Like,
oh
saying,
my god!
Because since you're saying I dissect everything, I don't pay attention to what's on with the movie, so I just made that. It's like there were titties.
Oh my god! And stop explaining your jokes, 'cause that ruins your jokes.
All right. Because you get angry at me.
Well, I get angry at you because like sometimes I feel like you don't contribute to the conversation.
I try.
Well, then try harder, bitch.
I can try harder as much as I can since I am boned.
the fuck?
Continue on. Let's go.
Dude, literally, you're like I'm. Oh my god. All right, fuck it.
Continue on.
So Good Burger 1. So Good Burger 1, again, let's kind of like reiterate the...
I like Good Burger.
plug.
It started just a wacky little dream of Ed thinking about burgers. That's it. I like burgers. He likes burgers.
That's not just it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, that's not like the whole movie.
I know. It just starts with Ed just loving burgers and late for work.
Well, yeah, you know, so let's focus a little bit. Let's not just go rambling on and on. So yeah, so Good Burger 1, you know, it starts off, so at the beginning of the movie, it starts off with a pretty wacky dream sequence. We get to meet Ed, who is one of our main leads, the other being Dexter, we meet later on in the film. And so in his dream, he's dreaming that he's working. So you can really tell that Ed is obsessed with his job. And, you know, so he dreams that he's floating around with these talking hamburgers and these talking condiments and everything.
Fries. Don't forget about the fries as well.
Oh my God. Okay, Mr. Pedantic. I'm just trying to give the audience a picture of what is happening just in case if they haven't seen the movie.
Okay.
So he ends up waking up and then we get a pretty cool, like, I wouldn't say it's like a chase sequence. It's just a sequence of him going to work and him just causing mayhem through his neighborhood, essentially.
Knocked out a kid. Jump rope, stole a kid
and
baby.
No, but you forgot about the kid who like so he knocks down a girl who's playing jump rope. Somehow or another, he gets tangled in the jump rope and he starts dragging her. And like as she's being dragged, she's like hitting her head on the pavement. Eventually, she gets loose. He steals a baby from a mother, and then he ends up in a basketball court, and he loses the baby. And the basketball players take the baby and they shoot the baby through the hoop. Like, and like, you know, and like, I get it. Like, I get like how somebody could be like, oh, this isn't realistic. Like that baby's bones would have been all crushed. Yes, but you know, it's basically a live action cartoon.
But them seeing it for the first time, they don't know it's a live action cartoon until someone tells them it is.
Well, I don't
because if they watch it right out like out of nowhere and say, "Hey, what movie is this?" "Oh, Good Burger." "Oh, okay, cool." And you sit down like, "Hey, what the hell is happening? Why is this happening?" We're like, "What the hell is?" "Oh, it's a realistic cartoon." Like, oh, okay.
Well, here's sort of the thing, because I think like a good movie or a successfully written movie has to establish right away what the tone is of the movie. And so I feel like this opening, like the opening dream sequence and Ed going to work, I think it perfectly like shows you what the movie is about, or like at least the type of humor that it's going to be. Because, you know, if it were more mature, Ed would be like cursing up a storm. Maybe we'll see like some nudity or something, but
never happened.
You know, never happened, because this is more like a wacky PG rated kids movie.
Mm-hmm. And you could really tell this movie was made in the 90s.
Oh yeah,
you could really tell,
like the clothes, the music choices, the cars. Like a big part of the movie has to deal with cars, and the cars are very much 90s cars.
Yeah, very much so.
No cell phones, no internet.
No cell phone.
Well, there was internet in the 90s, but not the way that we use it now.
Yeah, because the phones they still had are that big giant phone with the antenna. You had to press the buttons.
Mm-hmm.
That's the phones that you have right now.
Yeah, no iPhones, no Androids.
No, not at all.
No, not at all. And also like the fashion too. Well, like the teacher, he's dressed like he's in the 70s, but like the other fashions that the other characters wear is very much
like the jacket
the 90s.
with a shirt with chains.
Yeah, exactly.
With I forgot what kind of shoes they were in the 90s.
I didn't really notice a lot of the shoes though. But
yo, I did. There were some of the girls that wore type of 90s shoes. I forgot what they were. I saw them when I was a little kid. I still remember the shoes that my family and my mom had, and that I remind me of the shoes. Like, hey, I recognize those shoes.
Yeah, I'm not really big on shoes, so I really can't.
Me neither. I don't wear any big brand of shoes or popular ones at all.
But I see that because like in the movie, Ed, he always wears his uniform, so you never see him out of uniform.
No, you do not.
Well, except for one scene, but we'll get to that a little bit later. But Dexter, his friend, he's always wearing like some kind of like, you know, sports like activewear. He's wearing like 90s activewear. throughout the movie. So you
baggy
can really,
pants.
yeah, everything's baggy because everything in the 90s was baggy.
Yeah, because that was cool back then.
Yeah, that was the style, especially like in the late 90s. That was like the very baggy clothes were were very in fashion. But let's talk about Ed before we get into Dexter. So after we see the scene where he's late for work, he finally gets to work. He like flips over the counter and then he has an interaction with a disgruntled customer.
Thank you for coming to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. Can I take your order?
And then he just like in this scene, he just kind of like he's not really messing with the guy. He's just misunderstanding what the guy is asking him, and then it's just making the guy even madder. So that kind of just shows you what kind of, like, if you've never seen the original sketches on Nickelodeon, this is like a good way to sort of introduce like what this character is all about. And I actually like how like Ed like just like misunderstands like everyone around him. There's a very funny joke in the middle of the movie where like the bad guys come in to try to intimidate the Good Burger employees, and he tells Ed, "You better watch your butt." And Ed,
he looks at his ass.
Yeah, he's just trying to look at his ass, but he's like
spinning around, trying to look at it
in circles, and he gets dizzy. And you know, it's a stupid joke, but for me, that kind of stupid humor holds up. Because
it's funny because how can a man watch his ass?
Because like that type of humor, it reminds me of like the humor you would probably see like in SpongeBob or something from like, a stupid character like Patrick. I could definitely see like a character like Patrick doing something stupid like that. And
not until 4.
It's not until 4. Do you know what's funnier than 24?
25.
25. All right, quiet down before the big fat meanie comes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So Ed is a total idiot. But yeah, so after
technically he's not an idiot because it's been shown multiple times that he's actually smart.
Yeah, he's kind of an idiot savant. Like he's capable of holding down a job at Good Burger, but he just, I don't know, he takes things too literal. Like you can't like use like any kind of like metaphors or idioms with him because he'll just take everything that you say literally. And he does.
It's just like Drags.
Drags the Destroyer.
There you go. So here, imagine Drags.
Mm-hmm.
Take away his muscles, his integrity, and his skills of combat, and put a special and then mix Drags with all his aptitudes out with a little kid. You got Ed.
Yeah, Ed. Also, I would throw in like Michelangelo.
Oh yeah. I did put Michelangelo in there. Yeah. But forget. All right, bring that equation out. Separate them. But Michelangelo in it.
If Michelangelo and Drax the Destroyer were one character, and that one character was a human, you'd get Ed essentially. Because Ed also, I think one thing we forgot to mention is that Ed speaks in kind of like a surfer dude kind of speak, because he's always like, he's a dude, she's a dude, we're all dudes. Yeah, and so he's like, and also like I think we also forgot to mention that both Kenan Thompson and Kel Mitchell are African Americans.
Yes.
So it's actually very interesting that Kel Mitchell, he's like a black surfer dude, which is actually something that you don't really see that often in movies or TV, like because usually like surfer dudes are usually stereotyped as like white guys, but it's actually I think it's very unique that they made this crazy wacky surfer dude a black kid, which is pretty rare, and it's actually
a good change. I like it.
It's good change. But also let's move on to the other character, Dexter. So Dexter, he's more of the straight man. Do you know what a straight man is in a comedy duo?
I do not.
So usually like in a comedy duo or in a comedy team, you have the one person who is the straight person. So it's the person who takes everything seriously and who oftentimes calls out like the ridiculous behavior of his partners in the show or in the movie.
Would that technically be us?
Yes.
Okay, got it now.
Yeah, sometimes.
Okay, yeah, I can see that now.
Yeah, because like think of like a comedy duo or a comedy team, like say like Ed and Eddie. So in Ed and Eddie, Ed and Eddie are the two wacky ones in their different ways, and Double D, the smart one, he's the brains in the he's the straight person. So he's the one who notices like the
ridiculousness of both of their characters.
Exactly.
One so just wacky and crazy, and tries to calm them down. And the other one is making up schemes to get rich quickly, and he calls out the shit of, hey, this is not gonna work if you know.
Exactly. And so that's like a good way to. So if you're gonna have like in a comedy, if you're gonna have like multiple characters doing something, it's always important to
have the straight man,
have the straight person, and then have your wacky characters or wacky character, because you sort of can't have two wacky characters just like being stupid throughout the whole scene or whatever.
Dumb and Dumber.
Well, Dumb and Dumber, that's a little bit different, because even in Dumb and Dumber, it's very obvious that Jim Carrey's character Lloyd is the dumber of the two, because the other character, I think his name is Harry. Yeah, Harry. So Lloyd and Harry. So Lloyd is the more stupid one, and Harry is the more sensible one. Even though both of them are fucking idiots, Harry is like the one who's a little bit more sensible than Lloyd, because Lloyd often takes more risks and is more dumber. Because I think in the movie too, Dumb and Dumber, it's revealed that Lloyd is illiterate, like he can't read, and Harry is more intelligent than him because he can read.
Okay, gotcha. All right.
So even something like in Beavis and Butthead, because like Butthead is a little bit more intelligent than Beavis. So even
true.
So you could have like, say, maybe you can have like two characters who are stupid, but one of them has to be the more stupid one.
Got it. All right, understood. So I'm the stupid one.
So that's how. Oh my god! Nobody said that about you.
I know. I just blurred it out. All right, continue on.
But yeah, so we got Kenan Thompson. So Kenan Thompson plays the character Dexter Reed. So as we mentioned before, he is a high school student, and so the movie starts off at the last day of school. And so he's just ready to party. He's just ready to relax.
Yeah, in that scene when they introduced Dexter, he was asleep in the exam.
He was asleep during his last class.
Yeah, like for me, when I heard of exam, I was like, oh shit, if I don't pass this, I'm going to be held up and I'm going to be in summer boot camp and I'm going to have to do all of this shit, earn the credits and everything.
Yeah.
I was more in the studying than slacking off during the test.
And that's the beauty of the movie. The movie creates these relatable situations that even though you're now an adult, a younger person watching this can relate to like what's going on.
Yeah.
And so Dexter, he's obviously an intelligent guy, but he's also like a slacker, and he's also kind of a schemer. Yeah. Scammer.
It really shows, because in some scenes he really shows how he's trying to get money quickly.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, and it does kind of remind me a lot of, like, Eddie from Ed, Edd n Eddy.
Yeah. And it really, like, Dexter is, like, he's a sensible, smart kid. But honestly, the things he does just to get rich quickly really backfires on him multiple times.
Yeah, and he's also, like, he's also very irresponsible, because, like,
he is.
Because, like, his main conflict is that on the last day of school, he borrows his mom's car without asking for permission, without having a driver's license. He leaves school with his friend. He gets into an accident because he almost hits Ed, the other main character, while he's skating across the street. And so he spins out, and as he's spinning out, he crashes into his teacher's car. And so his teacher makes him pay for the damages. Well, actually, originally he was gonna call the police on him.
Yeah,
and there was like a funny line that
I can't believe I'm gonna send a black man back to jail.
Yes, exactly. And like sometimes in the movie we do get like these more adult jokes sprinkled in, and that's like one of the more like mature jokes that
I love that scene. It made me smile a little bit when I can't believe I had to put a black man in jail.
Yeah, and then like, but then it goes back into wackiness, because Dexter is like trying to get him not to call the police and call his parents.
Yeah, because he doesn't want to lose his summer vacation time off, but in the end he really lost it because him being a dumbass.
Exactly, him being a dumbass. For a smart guy, you're really fucking dumb, Dexter.
Yeah, in the movie you're really dumb. You say, oh yeah, I'm gonna enjoy my summer vacation, does something stupid, you have to pay for it now.
Yeah.
And now I had a summer job.
Yeah, so he ends up getting a summer job, not at Good Burger initially. He ends up applying first at Mondo Burger.
When they were about to open in a couple of days.
Exactly. So Mondo Burger is the rival burger restaurant who's across the street from Good Burger. And so he applies to there. He's terrible during his training, the manager gets angry at him, kicks him out. They kick him out, and he gets fired. And so he ends up going over to Good Burger, and he meets up with Ed. And Ed basically, like, he initiates the conversation because Dexter is just sitting at a booth drinking like all these milkshakes and stuff because he's sad because he got fired and now he has to pay
it kind of resembles
teacher.
Sorry for interrupting. It kind of resembles when a grown man, after getting fired, he goes out drinking.
Yeah, he goes to a bar.
Yeah, he goes to a bar and drink himself to waste. It just like showing like the representation as a kid version. He goes to a burger joint and he buys a whole bunch of milkshakes.
Yeah, and even Ed asks him, "Dude, do you think you had enough?" Because that's like what like a bartender.
Yeah, bartender. Where is that? Do you think you have enough, sir?
Yeah, and so one thing that what am I trying to say? So Ed and Dexter, they basically link up, they connect because Ed is the one who initiates the conversation, and then the conversation is pretty stupid.
Yeah, Ed cannot hold a proper conversation.
Yeah,
at all. He has to be goofy, which I like that.
But eventually, the conversation leads to Ed discovering that Dexter needs a job, and so Ed convinces the manager, a character named Mr. Bailey, to
give Dexter the job.
To give Dexter a job because there's another character in this movie who's actually an important character now that I remember it. There's a character who works in the fry station. His name is Otis, and he's like the old employee in Good Burger. And like Ed says, like, dude, he's 70 years old. How long is he going to live, or how much longer does he have to live? And that's how Dexter gets his job. And so for a while, things do tend to work out for the characters. But then later, Mondo Burger opens up and they basically take all of Good Burger's business because they're selling like these gigantic ass burgers for the same price as the regular burgers at Good Burger.
Good Burgers, yeah. And it just becomes a whole thing before they even open because the owner goes into Good Burger just saying, "I'm going to take you off the map. Your business is done. You're ruined." Like basically just telling them that they're going to be gone from history. That's it. Yeah. And it just like the whole thing just shows like he really just wants to get rid of them because this is my job. This is going to be my own burger joint. I'm going to be the number one burger joint and none other burger joints is going to be better than mine. Yeah, basically.
And it's also sort of interesting because now watching the movie, I kind of sort of understand what they were trying to go for. Like, making, it's like the antagonists are like a big mega corporate burger, like say like a big burger joint like McDonald's or like Chick-fil-A or In-N-Out or something like that. And Good Burger is like a independent mom and pop store. And also there's a little bit of commentary with Mondo Burger is that they're trying to make maximum profits with a low quality product, while Good Burger is trying to stay open while making a quality product. So it's in a way it's kind of like commenting how corporations, they don't care about the quality of the products that they sell.
Nope. And it really shows in the movie too, because at a scene where I'm not going to talk about it right now, really shows what the really am doing, because there was a scene where Dexter and Ed were talking, and Dexter was holding the Mega Burger and the Good Burger.
Yeah.
And because the Mega Burger was more bigger patty, he tossed the patty to the dog that was barking at him. Because there was a dog that came in and barked at him because they thought they were hungry. So they tossed the big burger to the dog. The dog sniffed it, walked away. And then when he saw that, he tossed the Good Burger patty, and the dog went in and ate it all.
Yeah, and but yeah, so
it's better of quality than quantity.
Yeah, quality over quantity.
Yeah.
And so you would think, like, if this was like your first time watching the movie, you would think that the whole movie, like the conflict of the movie, is going to be resolved by Dexter and Ed trying to sabotage Mondo Burger in as much as possible. But that's not actually the direction that the plot goes. The plot takes a different turn where we discover that Ed makes this pretty kick-ass sauce, his own homemade sauce,
which is called Ed sauce.
Exactly, it's called Ed sauce. And where he gets the sauce, you don't want to know.
No, you
They
do
actually
not.
never reveal how he makes it, but we're just meant to believe that it's a pretty kick-ass sauce for the burgers.
Yeah. It's basically like the sauce that In-N-Out gives.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Thousand Island kind of looking sauce.
Yeah, it looks like the same color somewhat, but one is more oranger and the other one's more lighter.
Yeah, but like, if you've ever had like Thousand Island, think about like that kind of sauce.
Yeah, it's kind of that sauce.
And yeah, so Dexter discovers that Ed makes this kick-ass sauce. They show it off to the coworkers and to the manager, and Good Burger decides
to use Ed's sauce as their main product to bring back business.
Exactly,
which they did,
and it works.
Yeah, they worked. They got all the.
Surprisingly, it does work.
Yeah, they got all their customers back. They were selling sauces. Ed was getting a promotion raise for every sauce that they use. He would get more money for every burger sold with his sauce.
Yeah, he gets a percentage of every burger that they sell. But also at the same time, Dexter, being the sneaky, conniving little shit ass that he is,
made a contract
where he basically took most of Ed's money.
Yeah,
80% of his earnings. Away from Ed. But Ed, being an oblivious dumbass, he doesn't realize that Dexter is cheating him out of most of his earnings.
Yeah, which sucks.
Yeah, but also at the same time, you also, like, I don't know, you can feel sad for Ed, but also Ed at the same time, he still genuinely believes that Dexter is like his best friend. So it's kind of,
it's sad and also coming because
it's kind of sad, but it's also not like depressing or anything because
because
like Ed never changes. And that's kind of one thing that I've noticed about this movie is that Ed never changes. He doesn't grow as a character.
He stays the same, basically.
Yeah, the character who grows is Dexter.
Yeah, because throughout the whole movie, he's a cunning, scheming little bastard.
Yeah.
To want to be a genuine friend and don't want to be a bastard no more.
Yeah, exactly. And so, Dexter learns the true value of friendship and caring for others instead of him being a selfish little asshole.
And also helping saving Good Burger.
Exactly. So, so Dexter is the one who does most of the growing, and Ed is essentially, he's just the agent of change in his life.
Yep.
And so Ed's sauce becomes very popular among the customers, and they're also starting to really be serious competition for Mondo Burger
because they started losing their customers that they were getting for the first time because of their burgers and their quality and everything. But in the end, to compete with Ed's sauce, they made their burgers bigger.
Yeah, so they make their burgers bigger because they use this chemical,
which is illegal.
Which it's very toxic and very illegal chemical. But also at the same time, the manager is scheming and conniving to get Ed to come over to Mondo Burger or to at least reveal the secret sauce formula. Which you know what kind of reminds me of? Fucking Plankton and Mr. Krabs from SpongeBob.
I will get that secret recipe.
It's too late, Krabs. I'm already forklift certified. Yeah, but it's kind of like that. It's kind of like that, SpongeBob. No, not SpongeBob. Mr. Krabs and Plankton. Plankton always trying to figure out the secret sauce, while also at the same time he makes a mediocre product.
Yeah.
And actually, what's actually interesting? So this movie came out in 1997. So it would have probably been written like in 1995 or 1996. Also, at the same time, the original SpongeBob pilot was being produced around this time.
Really?
So the original pilot for SpongeBob was being produced in 1997, and 2 years later it would premiere on Nickelodeon. So who knows if there was maybe like some crossover, or maybe somebody got to peek at the script or whatever, and see that that Good Burger was doing something similar. Or I mean, yeah, I don't know, maybe a coincidence. I don't know. But yeah, so what was I gonna say? Okay,
so throughout the whole scene, after Mango Burger see Good Burger was giving out competition, they tried to increase their burger patties. They tried to still add salt, every means necessary. They tried to steal it from him. They tried to convince him to give them to him. They also tried to give him a deal that he cannot refuse. But because Ed being Ed, he denies all of it because he didn't noise the fuck out of them.
Well, yeah, because Ed is pretty simple and pure, so he doesn't do things for like money. Like, sure, he works at Good Burger and he probably gets a salary. He probably gets like a check every 2 weeks or something. But it's very obvious that his motivations for what he does is because he works at Good Burger because he loves Good Burger. He loves working there and he likes making stuff, like obviously the sauce. That's his passion. So, but unlike him, Dexter, he's a greedy fuck ass who wants just money, 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 money,
money, money, money, money, money, money, money.
And yeah, and so one part that I actually really enjoyed as a kid was the mini golf scene / double date scene. So one thing that the Mondo Burger manager tries to do is that he hires this girl, this hot, sexy girl. I think she's played by Carmen Electra. So some of you guys might know her. She's like a TV personality / actress. And so he hires Carmen Electra to seduce Ed, essentially. And so basically Ed and her set up a date for themselves, but also Ed invites Dexter to come along. And Dexter is like, nah, I don't want to be a third wheel. So then he ends up convincing another coworker that he has the hots for to come with
on
them
on
a double date. And so what's funny about this scene is that Ed being such a fucking menace, and I forget rewatching this movie, I forgot how much Ed was such a fucking menace to the community. He basically inadvertently beats the shit out of his date. Like, he hits her with a golf club. He hits her with the golf ball
to her head.
He flips her over. He does like this fucking like MMA flip when she tries to kiss him. And then at the end of the scene, we see the aftermath. She's got bandages on her head. She's got a cast and a sling, and she's on crutches. And it's like, oh my God, that scene used to crack me the fuck up when I was a kid.
Ed was a menace without knowing he was a menace.
Yeah, but it's very obvious that he didn't like her. Like, he didn't feel like any kind of attraction to her.
Well, he did like that one girl.
That comes a little bit later. But yeah, but that mini golf scene was like one of my favorites as a kid.
Oh, shit.
But after the mini golf scene, we do get a pretty serious scene, which kind of like, raises the stakes a little bit, because the one coworker who Dexter took out on a date discovers the shady contract that he made Ed sign.
Yes.
And she gets mad at him and essentially breaks up with him. And so this kind of like puts this makes Dexter reevaluate
himself on what actions he took.
Yeah, his actions and what he's doing to Ed. And so he meets up with Ed, and he's trying to talk to him and tell him, hey, this contract, let's not do this. Let's forget about the contract, and I'm going to give you back all your money. But before that happens, the scene with the dog happens, and
yeah, I already explained the whole thing.
You already described it, so we don't have to re-describe it. But one thing you forgot to mention is that at the beginning of the scene, when the dog first comes, Ed is sort of talking to the dog, and like the dog's barking at him, and he's like, What's wrong, boy? There's 4 clowns and their car broke down. And not Ed. Dexter's like, man, stop talking to that dog. You don't know what he's saying.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well. Like,
and then when the scene ends, it cuts to the clowns in the broken down car, and one of the clowns says, "Where the heck is that dog?"
I was surprised. Like, what does actually happen? He was actually talking to the damn dog?
Yeah, it's a very clever joke. Like, I could definitely see that kind of joke being told in like a SpongeBob or like a Ren and Stimpy type show, where like it kind of like, yeah, where it kind of like subverts your expectations. Because I remember that one episode of SpongeBob where like SpongeBob is helping Mr. Krabs harvest the jelly from the jellyfishes to put on Krabby Patties.
Oh yeah, because the SpongeBob adding it on during his lunch break.
Another Good Burger kind of comparison.
Yes.
But also SpongeBob, in one scene, he's being stalked by another character, and he's like, "Oh no, I bet someone's trying to sell me something."
When he was walking back home.
Yeah, and he turns around and there's nothing there. But then the scene cuts to 2 salesmen hiding behind the rock, and one of the salesmen tells the other salesman, "I told you he was onto us." So that's kind of like, that's Good Burger's doing like these very cartoony type cutaways and cartoony type jokes, because like you kind of have to be on the same wavelength as the movie to like get its humor. Like, it's not going to be You know,
Apparently,
it's not like every
I
other
was not
comedy.
in the wavelength. I was off the wavelength.
I know, but like, dude, you just have to. I don't know. It's like with you, you just need to like accept the movie the way that it is. You just have to sit back and just let like the wackiness wash over you, like when you watch a comedy movie. Cause like I don't know, dude. It's like you're weird when we watch comedy movies.
I am a weird guy. Yes, I am. Thank you
I
for
don't know,
noticing.
but like comedy movies are not like these intimidating things. They're just fun little 90-minute, 100-minute, movies that are just meant to like not waste your time, but they're meant to like distract you and be fun for how long they are.
Then here's a challenge for you. Find a comedy movie that I would enjoy, that I would not cringe, react, or anything else. Until that day happen, I will do whatever you want.
What the fuck, dude? You're such a fucking weirdo.
Exactly. Boom. All
right, so let's continue on. So Ed and Dex discover that Mondo Burger is chemically manipulating their meat so that
and
it
also
can be
that's
much
harmful
bigger.
for the human body because you don't know what kind of chemicals they're using to create that giant ass meat. You don't know it will kill or injure anybody because there's some people that aren't on medication and some medications are not good and some medication with chemicals unknown will make you into a different thing.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Oh, sorry, I broke it down a little bit because apparently I can't.
You don't have to go. I think the audience gets it. Chemicals bad, make humans sick.
Yes, dump it down to cavemen. Yes, stick make fire. Fire make warmth. Fire make meat. Meat tastes delicious. Hunt more meat.
Oh my god.
Burger good.
Yeah, but you don't have to go so fucking deep into it. Like you just need to say chemical bad, make humans sick. Boom, there you go.
Cavemen speak. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. There you go.
Shut the fuck up. Cavemen don't know anything about subscribing.
But cavemen speak. That's cavemen speak.
Oh my god, dude. All right, let's get back
Continue
on topic.
on with it.
Shut up.
Shut
the fuck up.
So Ed and Dexter discovered they're using some chemicals and they're trying to say we need to tell somebody about it. They get caught and they get sent to a insane asylum.
Well, I wanted to mention how they get caught. So their ingenious plan to infiltrate Mondo Burger is like dressing up as elderly black women, and Keenan.
You better not touch me before I smack you, boy.
Yeah, and Keenan, so he asks an employee like where's like the bathroom or whatever. And
where's the ladies' room?
Yeah, and the employee like touches Keenan on the hand.
Boy, you better not touch me.
Yeah, and then Keenan acts like an angry black grandmother, and it's pretty funny. I like Keenan. Keenan's a fun actor.
Yes.
And so they get caught, and so they rip off their disguises, and so Keenan, he's just wearing like a t-shirt and shorts under his disguise, but Ed goes the extra mile and he's wearing like fucking lingerie.
Ed was the hottest person in that scene.
Actually, you know what? No cap. That's pretty true. For real.
Yeah, exactly. Boom. Honestly, everyone was looking at him like, what? And they start laughing. But in regards, he was one handsome looking dude.
Yeah, and also like in the scene too, like Dexter's like, yeah, laugh it up. Almost sort of like defending his friend because at this point it's kind of solidified that they're best friends.
They're getting to best friends.
Yeah, and so the Mondo Burger manager dude sends Dexter and Ed to an insane asylum, and so this is the part of the movie which I would imagine does not age well for like a lot of people.
No, it did not because it really is making fun of the people not.
Well, it's making fun of people with like mental illnesses, essentially, because there's like a lot of scenes where like the mental patients are like just like eating like playing cards and poking people for no reason, just acting like just very odd. And also like violent. There's also like this one guy in the insane asylum. He's wearing a straitjacket. Ed releases him from the straitjacket, and then he goes on like a fucking rampage, like he's the fucking Hulk. And even like they don't show any of the violence, but
they make the noise and the screaming and everything.
And then someone's like, "Oh, he's killing so and so," and it's like, "What the fuck?" Like, don't you remember that?
Yeah. Oh God, he's killing so and so, and Ed just goes, "Oh."
Yeah, but eventually that one character ends up helping them because like I guess he's thankful to Ed. Yeah, and also like one interesting part of the asylum is that Ed gets a love interest like late in the film.
Yeah, but he was a little bit creeped out, which I was happy to see that he was actually creeped out.
Yeah, because in the movie we finally meet somebody who's more weird and off-putting, who's much more weird and off-putting than Ed.
Did you ever get little voices telling you to go to the zoo and release the kangaroos?
Yeah, that girl. And actually, you know what's interesting about that actress? So she's played by this actress named Linda Cardellini. And, you know, her name might be familiar because later on, I think 10 years later, no, actually less than 10 years, like 5 or 6 years later, she ends up playing Velma in the live action Scooby-Doo movies, like the ones from like 2002.
So that's why I recognized the name. Okay.
So yeah.
I actually recognized a person's name, but I couldn't put it where I recognized. I was about to ask you after you were done. I was like, I don't know if it's you or me, but I recognized that name. I remember that name somewhere else.
Yeah, exactly. And also, like for any MCU fans, she also plays the wife of Hawkeye from those Avengers movies. So she's Hawkeye's
Wait, the
wife.
animated?
No, from like I think the Age of Ultron. Do you remember that movie?
Oh, that movie. Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Where the Avengers go to Hawkeye's house and we meet his wife and kids. So she's the wife in those movies.
She's also okay.
So yeah, so she's had a pretty long career. But yeah, and also one little fun fact about her character. So in the movie, Dexter and Ed and another coworker eventually escape the mental asylum, and you mentioned that like, you know, she doesn't get to follow them, she doesn't get to join them on their journey. Originally, that character was supposed to show up at the end of the movie, but she gets cut out of the movie.
Oh.
So at the very end of the movie, when like, you know, the other coworkers are celebrating Dex and Ed and
for being heroes,
yeah,
for
Good
Burger,
heroes,
yeah,
she's supposedly in the crowd, and actually there's one shot where you can still see her in the crowd. And she's so there's one shot where the manager of Good Burger, Mr. Bailey, asks Ed, what are you gonna do now? And right beside his shoulder, right behind him, you see her character, the crazy girl, right behind her. But she doesn't say anything, she doesn't do anything, because I think essentially like all her shots and all of her scenes were cut from like the last part of the movie.
Oh, I would have loved that.
And so I don't know why they cut it out. Maybe because I mentioned to you they probably cut it out because she was probably not important to the story. It was probably too distracting. It was probably taking too long because this movie, the original movie, is about 90 minutes, which was pretty standard back then for like a kids movie. Kids movies, you know, are usually not longer than 90 minutes. Maybe sometimes they're 100 minutes, but most of them are like 90 or 80 minutes long because, you know, kids don't have a long attention span.
Yeah.
So she
I would have been
out.
happy. I probably would have changed the second movie too.
Yeah, and you know, it's really interesting because like, well, we'll get to the second movie. We'll save it for the second movie. I have thoughts. But yeah, so but before we talk about the climax. One of another like kind of like, I don't know if this is like intentionally a joke, but when the way that they escape the insane asylum is like the angry crazy dude basically throws Dexter out of the window. And so he breaks the window, and so all three of them jump out of the window. But it's very obvious that they're all stunt performers, and they do very little to conceal the fact that these are stunt people jumping out of the window and not the actual actors.
Yeah, you were a little giggling to yourself when you saw the scenes.
Yeah, and especially like for the old man. The old man.
The old man is like, all right, I'm going, and then he just
yeah, he runs out of the frame, but in the next shot, it's obviously like a 30-year-old stunt guy who's wearing like an old man wig.
Yeah,
but one of my favorite jokes in like the movie is that when it's Ed's turn to finally jump out of the window, instead of jumping out from the window that's already broken, he jumps out of one that's not broken, like a dumbass.
Like, all right, I see he's probably in his mind. He was probably, I saw Dexter broke glass. I want to be the same. Woo!
My God, fucking dumbass. So basically, just to wrap up the first movie, Ed and Dexter finally make their way to Good Burger. They're able to stop an old lady from eating a tainted burger. They make their way back to Mondo Burger to to like basically expose them to the police. So their plan is to steal one of the canisters of chemicals and present it to the police, turn it into the police. So Dexter distracts the Mondo Burger employees, but Ed has a different plan. So instead of taking a canister and taking it to the police, he dumps all of the chemicals into the burger meat, which causes the burger meat to explode, and which causes the Mondo Burger joint
to start shake rapidly and breaking down.
And yeah, basically like it gets destroyed, it gets demolished. And so they're able to defeat the villains. They get the main bad guy gets arrested. And so another funny joke, which, it's very clever what they did here, is that Dexter asks Ed, why didn't you just run to the police with the chemicals? And then he's like, oh, well, I thought that, if I ran to the police, it wouldn't have been enough proof to put away Mondo Burger or to put away the manager to Mondo Burger. And also our justice system is very corrupt and backed up. So this could have taken a long time. And the Mondo Burger manager would have gotten like a pricey lawyer who would have done everything in his power to get him off. And so then he decided, oh, why don't I just destroy the Mondo Burger? So that'll stop it like for good. And so it's actually a very clever plan from a pretty stupid guy.
Yeah.
And also another
really like that scene. Sorry. I really like that scene when he explained the entire of his plan after the fact, because the original plan was to take evidence and run to the police. And it would have worked too if Ed would have done it. Yeah. But in the end, he didn't do it. And then Dexter's like all pissed off, like, damn it, Ed. Like, come on. You had the perfect opportunity to go and tell the police. But in the end, when Dexter asks, how did this even happen? Like, then Ed just explains everything. Like, I love that scene because Ed was
clever.
Yes, it was very clever coming
and unexpected
from Ed.
Too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the movie does, from time to time, it does things that are unexpected from, like, say, like a kid's movie. And I think that's one of the reasons why I think I liked this movie quite a bit when I was younger, because it did enough to stand out from other, like, say, kids movies of the 90s. Because especially, like, kids movies in the 90s, I always felt that a lot of them were trying to copy stuff like Home Alone. Like, Home Alone was such a big hit in the early 90s that every live-action kids movie was trying to be Home Alone. And this one wasn't. This one was trying to kind of be its own thing. It's a buddy comedy. It has more in common with like Dumb and Dumber than it does Home Alone. So I think that's one of the reasons why I think I liked this movie back in the day.
I see.
Yeah, so Good Burger 1, pretty solid movie. I enjoyed rewatching it. I'll probably rewatch it again at some point. But yeah, good movie, good walk, good stroll through memory lane rewatching this. So what are your final thoughts on the first Good Burger?
I love the movie. I liked it. Like I said, I was cringing over the first half of the movie. But
God.
But afterwards, after piecing everything together, like, okay, I like this movie now. Because like he says, I dissect everything. I had to know what's the building blocks of this universe.
Oh my God. Oh, the building blocks of the Good Burger universe.
Yeah, shut the hell up.
The building blocks of a suburban California town. Oh, yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
Like, this isn't fucking Narnia, dude. You don't have
I don't care. Even Narnia, I would have done the same thing. Or don't care at all.
Narnia encourages you to learn about the history of the world that the books and the movies are based in. This is Good Burger. Like... Like, you've never been to like a suburban town before?
No.
You've never been to like a burger joint?
Yes.
Oh my God, shut the fuck up. Like, but okay. I remember one thing that you were mentioning about the Good Burger, the first one, is all of the health violations.
Oh my God, yes. Oh my God, nope, not thinking about it. Nope.
Yeah, like, because I noticed that like a lot of the employees like don't wash their hands after doing certain things.
So many code violations just got broken. Oh my God!
At the beginning of the movie, Ed doesn't even clock in to like any kind of like clock or computer to start his shift.
No, he does not.
Like, how do they accurately count his hours?
I do not know, and that's the problem of Ed. I'm not thinking about it. If you guys don't know why I'm like cringing over this, I at my current jobs, I'm working at a restaurant, and I am like very in tune of what code violations I need to follow to make sure the product is not tampered with or cross contaminated with other objects. So looking at this movie and on a restaurant point of view worker, because for me at my job, I do prepping and getting the food ready for the chefs to start cooking and get it all ready and sent out. So me looking at this, of everything they were doing, using equipment to kill flies and all things, licking the equipment and continue working, doing other things, having hazardous objects near the areas of food and everything. I just looked at it. Oh, that's so many violations. That's so many health code violations. Oh my god, that's so bad. They could be shut down if a health inspector came in and see all that shit. Like, I know it's a movie, it's supposed to be funny and goofy, but looking at it at working at a restaurant point of view,
Yeah,
I could see this being shut down instantly just because of Ed alone and some other workers.
yeah. But I mean, like, okay, so here's my thing about it. Like, I've never worked at a restaurant. I did once have a job where I did handle food, but we wouldn't really consider that a restaurant.
No.
But here's the thing. It's like, I understand that this is like a very wacky kind of cartoon.
Yes, I understand that too.
But it's like, it's like if this movie was like a serious movie, like if this was as serious as like a movie like Goodfellas or something like that, like I would be more on your side.
Yes, I know, but for me working at a restaurant and them doing that, I just like, yeah, no, that's not gonna go by. But I understand it's a wacky movie, and that's why I'm saying I know it's a wacky movie and all, but seeing this in a point of view of a worker in a restaurant, it really cringes me seeing the shit they're using their equipment to do with. And that's it. That's all I'm saying. But I know it's a wacky movie, so that's why I didn't take it that much serious.
All right, but with that being said, let me ask you this: what was your favorite joke or favorite scene from the movie?
Okay, my favorite joke of the scene. It's just Ed.
Oh, just Ed in general?
Yeah, Ed in general. I love the kid.
Yeah, he's very funny. Like, even stupid jokes. Like, this isn't my favorite joke in the movie, but stupid things that he does, like the bloobity, 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 bloobity. Exactly. Like, that kind of shit, it makes me giggle my motherfucking ass off.
And also there's another scene that I love.
Tell me.
Do you remember that lady that was ordering like very detailed everything and Ed's brain just fried?
Oh, shit.
I was with it. I was with it. Yes, I was with that scene when she was explaining every little detail she wants on every specific burger she asked for. Ed's brain just looked at her and her lips and then in the end of the conversation, Ed just.
Yeah, good sound effects. Actually, this movie has like a lot of like wacky, good use of wacky sound effects.
Yes, and I appreciated those as well.
Yeah,
because they really emphasized the actions because of Ed's brain breaking out, the lady getting knocked out because of Ed with the bird, and I just really wacky and I really love those kind of jokes because I see, oh, how funny, yes.
Yeah, for me, I like the more adult jokes nowadays.
Yeah, okay.
Like I like the the line, "Oh, I'm sorry that I have to put a black man in prison."
I'm sorry I had to put a black man in prison.
Yeah, and also what was that other one? Fuck.
I want your sauce, Ed.
No, not that one. That one's too juvenile. What was that other one? Fuck. Oh, the one where like Dexter tackles Ed onto the floor and he tells him not to reveal his secret ingredients to the sauce, but also Ed tells Dexter, Dexter, I like you as a friend and all, but not like that. Because, Dexter's on top of him.
Yeah, he was on top. He was the top.
But my favorite line in the whole movie is like towards the very end when Dexter tells Ed that he no longer wants to be partners. And
he thought he was leaving.
Not just that, but also before that, Ed asked Dexter, is it because I'm black? And it's like,
oh my god, I forgot that. Yeah, he literally asked, is it because I'm black?
Like, bro, are you colorblind? Can you not tell that Dexter is also black, you dumb fuck?
It was funny. I didn't think much of it because it was normal.
Yeah.
Because a lot of comedians nowadays use that. Is it because I'm black?
Yeah, but it's funny because it's stupid.
Yeah, it's stupid.
It's stupid and clever at the same time. And also kind of edgy because it's like, oh, Ed knows what racism is.
Yes.
Oh shit. Like, and like you don't really see that in like Nickelodeon movies where they acknowledge like prejudice and racist ideas. But yeah, well, I was gonna mention something else. Oh, I was gonna mention that. Well, originally I thought that this was gonna be our first black movie.
No, it wasn't.
But actually, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is technically like our first like black movie. So so suck it, you soy boy beta cucks who think that we're racist for not reviewing black films. We have technically with both Good Burgers, we have 3 black films.
Yeah.
So suck it, you soy boy beta cucks.
Suck it, red. I mean blue.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's give our final ratings on Good Burger 1.
I loved it. It was a good movie. I'll give it a 7 out of 10.
I'm going to be a little bit more generous. I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10.
Yes. Because you have nostalgia with it.
Yeah.
Me, I had no nostalgia. This was my first ever movie watching.
And also watching the second one, it made me appreciate the first one.
Oh, yeah. I did too. I was like, I saw the second movie. We both watched the second movie. First time. I really the first movie was better.
Yeah, so with that being said, let's just jump into the second
so movie. Second movie is basically a time skip. We're skipping to the point of how it ended to all the way when they're adults now. Yeah. Same thing with Ed. Ed is still working at Good Burger, but we find out that he's actually the owner and head honcho of Good Burger, the only Good Burger ever.
Yeah, he basically inherited Good Burger, and he seems to be very much loved by his employees, and he actually has a pretty good life. He has like a lot of kids. He's married to a beautiful woman, and he's just beloved by every other character in the movie.
And also, all his kids are named after condiments.
Yeah, one of them is like named
ketchup, mustard, mayo, buns, pickles, onion.
Yeah, I think Onion is the one who glows in the dark, I think.
Yeah, Onion got struck by lightning. He can glow in the dark.
Yeah, and so Ed has a pretty good life, but also we get to reconnect with Dexter. Oh, and you forgot to mention that the original movie took place in 1997. So basically, like the Ed and Dexter were basically around 15, 16 years old. Oh, yeah. And then now it's 2023 where the new movie takes place. So now they're adults. They're in their 30s. They're in their 40s.
Yeah, and as from the first movie, Dexter wants to get money quick, easy, and what I'm trying to say Dexter from the first movie was the guy that was trying to get money quick. In this movie, he did get money quick, and he became a CEO of his own company.
Yeah, he became an entrepreneur.
Yeah, he became an entrepreneur, but failed because he didn't really...
Because his product sucked. Because he created like this chemical that was meant to prevent like fires from occurring. Like you would spray it onto your house and it would prevent your house from catching on fire. But it fails epically, and all of his investors decide to pull out their money. And did you recognize like the main investor guy?
No, I did not.
So the guy who talks to him like through the limo, he's played by real life investor Mark Cuban, who some of you might know from the show Shark Tank. And Shark Tank is a show where regular people go onto the show and pitch their products or ideas to a board of millionaires who are going to invest in their products. And so Mark Cuban, he's famous for being on that show and also famous for being a millionaire and also an owner of a basketball team.
Oh yeah. There's also other influencers in the second movie too.
Yeah. So actually in the first movie, there's actually a lot of cameos too.
Oh yeah. We forgot that to mention during the time.
So really quick, in the first movie, there are a few cameos. So the teacher who is the antagonist to Dexter, he's played by famous comedian Sinbad, who was very popular in the 90s.
Yep.
But some of you Gen Xers not Gen Xers, Gen Zers
will recognize him as a character from in Steven Universe, the arcade guy.
Yeah, he's the owner of the arcade. The manager, who is the boss in the original movie, Mr. Bailey, he's played by Dan Schneider, who was the writer and producer of the sketch comedy show All That. And so he plays the role of Mr. Bailey. They probably put him in the movie because he was already working in the movie, and they probably didn't want to pay for like another actor to be in the movie. So they just like be like, hey, just show up and be the boss. The old man, he's played by character actor Abe Vigoda. And some of you might remember Abe Vigoda from the movie The Godfather. So the first movie does have a few cameos, but this one, oh my god, every fucking scene there's like a fucking cameo. Like every 2 minutes there's a fucking cameo.
Don't forget about the greatest basketball player at that time.
Oh yeah, fuck! How can we forget?
Yeah,
Shaq.
Yeah, how can you forget about Shaq? One. Yes, we forgot about him too.
Yeah, we forgot about Shaq. How do I fucking forget?
How can we forget about the big guy?
Shaq.
My God.
Shaq was in the first movie too, and actually his cameo, it fit the movie very well. It wasn't cringe at all. Unlike a lot of the cameos in the second movie. Fucking cringe, dude.
Yes. But with Shaq, it was normal. It was
and he was just there for one scene. They didn't ask him to do anything that was too like in terms of acting, they didn't ask him to do anything too out of his range. He played himself and he had very simple dialogue, and that's it. That's all you need from him.
Yeah. I was hungry. Oh, there's a good burger.
Yeah, and then like the two guys, Dex and Ed, they're running to him, and Dex is like at the end of the hall. He's like, Shaq, and they both are running to him in slow motion.
Yeah,
fucking hilarious.
It's really a funny scene, to be honest. I really loved it.
Oh yeah, how can we forget that scene?
Oh, I know. We're reviewing the second movie, and then we remember the cameos, and then we remember about Shaq.
Yeah, because but again, in the original movie, there wasn't cameos every 2 seconds.
Oh yeah.
In the other one. But yeah, I forgot. Shaq. But Shaq would have been the most famous person in that movie because Kenan and Kel, they were known for all that. But unless you were watching Nickelodeon, you really wouldn't know who they are. So they probably put in Shaq so that they can have a celebrity in the trailer.
Yeah. All right, now going back to the second movie, after Dex and Ed meet up again, because Dexter's product fails.
He loses funding.
He lost his house because he burned it down.
And his family wants nothing to do with it.
Yeah, nothing to do with it because he scammed them out of their money.
Yeah. So
he's now in front of his closed down building, and he's looking through all his stuff that was saved from the fire of his house. And he's looking through it, and if you guys remember in the first movie, we didn't mention this, Ed bought Dexter a yo-yo because it was a gift from the father, but the yo-yo got thrown away by her mother. But then Ed by his mother, yes, by Dexter's mother. Ed bought him a new yo-yo. Same thing.
So Ed buys Dexter a new yo-yo because he told him about the story of his dad giving him a yo-yo when he was younger.
Yeah. So he now looking through all his stuff, he saw the yo-yo of Ed giving it to him.
Yeah.
And then it just goes to a scene of, come on, text me. Come on, call me. You know you want to call me. Come on.
You know what? I was not bothered by that scene because...
Me neither.
Because I thought it was very clever that, he would keep the yo-yo, and that's the thing that, kind of makes him reconnect with Ed. And I also like the fact that in the movie, when they meet up with each other again, if they don't do that thing where it's revealed that, they had a falling out, or they got into some argument and they're getting the team back together. It's just, they just kind of drifted apart, but they're still on good terms. Ed still loves Dexter, and Dexter still has a lot of love and respect for Ed. And so I like that they didn't do that cliche thing where they hate each other and then they have to get back together.
Yeah. So throughout the whole thing, again, he works at Good Burger again because of his company. He meets his niece, which the mother is his sister.
Yeah.
That the family that doesn't like him because money. He starts working at Good Burger, and then he noticed that Ed was getting confronted by a lawyer from a company
from
Megacorp that wants to buy Good Burger. Ed keeps denying all offers, and then Dexter find out from one of the co-workers saying that a lot of people keeps asking him to sell Good Burger, but he's not selling for a lot of money.
Yeah.
But in the end, when we got revealed that it was a sham all along, but we didn't know that at that point. So at this point, the lawyer was trying to buy Good Burger. Other people tried to get Good Burger, Ed to sell Good Burger, and it all failed. And in the end, Dexter convinced Ed to sell Good Burger, so Good Burger could be everywhere.
Yeah, and so that's basically like the basic plot of the movie. And I don't know, I didn't really like this one as much as I did the
didn't
first
either
one.
because it was very cringe.
It was very cringe. Go ahead. I'll let you finish.
Yeah, sorry. So it was very cringe and very like, okay, so what's going on with this now?
Yeah, and a lot of the parts that I liked were very far and few in between. Like if I were to like go, because we basically recently just watched this, but there's just like very few things that I remember from the movie. Like I remember the yo-yo. I thought that was very nice. I remember Ed with his family. That was pretty cool. I will say this. I do like the fact that they didn't make Ed into like a loser. They actually made him into like, a very successful adult. Because I guess sort of like the message that they were trying to send is like to the audience is like, if you do what you love, you're going to end up with a happy life. And so I'm glad that they didn't make Ed into like a loser or something like that.
Nah, that's great.
But there's just things that I didn't like. Like for example, I didn't like the look of the movie. The movie was like, didn't you notice that the movie was like way too bright and way too like colorful, and like the sets looked a little bit too fake.
Yeah,
even faker than the '90s one.
Yeah.
Because like in the original, like in the Good Burger, because they were shooting on location, they were shooting in an actual restaurant for Good Burger, and everything looked real and authentic. But in this new one, everything feels like too plastic.
It was too staged.
Yeah,
it didn't. Synthetic. There was no organic like material at all.
Yeah,
it was way too staged.
And also, like the scenes were like way too bright. I don't know if you noticed.
Yeah, it was bright. And there were a couple of times where I looked at you just so I can readjust my eyes, and you always looked at. Why are you looking at me? I just want to look at you, and then go back to the movie, and just watch the show again. And then I moved away because it was way too bright.
Yeah, I don't like this, and I also didn't like the new set of the Good Burger.
No, I didn't like it either. I like the original better.
It felt too fake. It should have been more realistic.
Yes,
like it should look like a realistic restaurant or something close to realistic. Maybe not too realistic, but it looked too cartoonish. And I think also my problem with this movie is that the original was sort of 90s Nickelodeon. So everything that you love about 90s Nickelodeon, the humor, the set design, the costumes,
it was still all there.
Yeah, it was very 90s. This one is very much 2000s Nickelodeon. So
yeah, think of like modern times.
Yeah, so think about stuff like iCarly and Victorious and that kind of stuff. So that kind of set design.
I forget about that TV show, Victorious.
Oh yeah, I hated it.
I only remember it because iCarly and Victorious did a crossover.
Yeah, but like my sisters would always watch that show.
Yeah.
I hated iCarly. Well, for me, I hated iCarly because for me at the time, I felt like iCarly was the reason why they canceled Drake and Josh, and I fucking love Drake and Josh. But that's not really the reason. Nickelodeon shows don't tend to run too long. They only go for a certain amount of episodes. But also Victorious, that's when like Nickelodeon writing really started to go downhill.
Yeah,
like the jokes were more stupider, more cringe. So like that was like the end of me watching like live action Nickelodeon shows.
I remember there was one. I don't think it's Nickelodeon. I think it's Disney XD, but it's still under the same company. There was a TV show called Two Kings.
Oh yeah, that was Disney. That was not Nickelodeon.
Okay, yeah. It's basically the same thing. The writing was the same thing of the 90s. Then when it went towards like Victoria's era, the writing became downhill. Like you said,
like really stupid. Really
yes,
pandering.
Because I remember in that movie, it was originally called The Two Kings, but they added a third king. It was the cast from Drake and Josh, Luther.
Oh no, you're thinking of Zeke and Luther, not Drake and Josh.
No, it was the skater guy. He was blonde.
Yeah, but you're talking about Zeke and Luther. Drake and Josh was on Nickelodeon.
I know, but I'm just like saying like this. It's like similar.
Okay. Yeah, but do you know why they changed the guy from Two Kings or Pair Kings?
Oh, they didn't change it. They added him in.
Yeah, no, but like the original brother, there was another brother that was there, but they wrote him out of the out of the show. Do you know why?
Why?
So in the original two pair of kings, there was a white brother and a black
They were
brother.
still where?
Yeah, and they were and so they were so that pair of kings were like the two main characters for like the first two seasons. But then the white brother in real life got a DUI, driving drunk.
Oh, okay.
He got arrested, and in Disney, if you work for Disney Channel or Disney XD,
You cannot get
in your
arrested
contract,
for it? Yeah.
in your contract, you can't be arrested. You can't do anything like controversial like that, or you get fired. So he gets fired, and he gets written out of the show, and then they bring in the Zeke and Luther guy to replace him, and so he's the third brother. Because if you rewatch that show, the original brother is not there anymore by the end of the show. Yeah, so a little bit of Disney trivia for you. But
All
also,
right.
what's funny is that the Zeke and Luther guy, later on, after he was done, like, working for Disney, he later gets arrested for breaking into like people's houses and cars, like later on.
Damn, that's sad.
And he only recently got out of jail within the like last few years or so.
That's sad. Damn.
Yeah, it's very sad, but it's also like very interesting, like how downhill like some child actors go through.
Yeah, I'm bad because they use all their money, and then when all their money disappears because they were living the high life, they don't have no money to continue the high life. Then they revolve to stealing.
Yeah, do you remember before we get back to Good Burger 2, do you remember that one rapper, Silento? The one who would sing, "Now watch me whip."
Oh yeah,
whip,
him. Yeah.
Watch me nay nay. So he was a one-hit wonder. He
was.
He only basically had one popular song, the whip and the nay nay. I don't know if that's what it's called, but he basically had one popular song, and then later he gets arrested because he gets so they basically the police accused him of killing his cousin.
Did he?
So I don't know. I have to look it up again to see how the case turned out, but he got arrested because the police thought that he murdered his cousin.
That's fucking weird.
Yeah, because like just imagine like 2013, he was on the top of the fucking world.
Yeah, he was. Like, damn.
And then I think I read the story like in 2020 or 2021, and then when I read the story, I was like, wow, fuck, he's in prison.
He had to make sure he doesn't drop the soap.
Yeah, but like, yeah, it's crazy. Like, child actors, child singers, it's a nasty business.
That's why you have to have a balance when you go into any entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have a center ground of normalcy. Don't forget where you came from. Just because you gain rich doesn't mean you add rich. Remember where your starting point was, and stay on that ground.
But you know what's also interesting is that I mentioned child actors. Both the stars of Good Burger were child actors.
Yes, they were. And
they were on the show All That, and when they were doing Good Burger, I think they were still like underage.
Yes.
So they both were child actors. And so what's interesting about them is that both of them, when they grew up, they didn't end up like, getting arrested or doing drugs or none of that.
They continue on with their passion.
Yeah, because I think Kenan Thompson after appearing in the first Good Burger and doing his sitcom on Nickelodeon called Kenan and Kel, he went on to audition to Saturday Night Live, and he's been on the show since 2003. So he's had a pretty successful and constant career throughout his life. Kel Mitchell, unfortunately, was not as lucky as his Good Burger co-star when he transitioned to being a more mature adult actor. So unfortunately, Kel Mitchell, he never received the same success as Kenan because I looked up on his Wikipedia and on his IMDb, Kel Mitchell, in between Kenan and Kel, in between the first Good Burger and this Good Burger, a lot of the work that he did was doing a lot of direct-to-DVD movies. So a lot of low-budget stuff. He would appear periodically on sitcoms and other TV shows, like as a guest role. Like he would appear like maybe 1 or 2 episodes on a show like every year or something like that.
All right.
And also he did quite a bit of voice acting. Kel Mitchell, he was one of the voice actors on Clifford the Big Red Dog. I don't know if you remember that cartoon.
I
from
do remember
PBS.
that. Yeah, I remember that. That was my favorite cartoon when I was a little kid.
Yeah, it was a very good cartoon. I remember watching that one quite a bit when I was younger. And so Kel Mitchell, he played the role of T-Bone, one of Clifford the Big Red Dog's friends on that show. And so he did like a lot of voice acting throughout the years. Like he was also like a cast member on VeggieTales at one point.
Oh yeah, VeggieTales.
Yeah, and I think also Kel Mitchell is a devout Christian, so that probably helped him like stay out of trouble, because I also hear that he was like a youth pastor at one point, or still is. So that probably keeps him like humble and stuff, and it keeps him out of trouble, gives him like good guidance. Also,
Good for him. Good
yeah,
for him.
because also later on he was on another Nickelodeon show called Game Shakers, where he played like the dad of one of the main characters. And so yeah, so at least they were able to like avoid like the same kind of problems that a lot of child actors also face. But let's continue talking about the movie. So in the movie, we get introduced to several new characters in the movie. So there's the twins who are the fry cooks.
The new old lady.
Yeah, there was like, so in the original, there was an old man working at Good Burger, but in this one, it's an old lady. The reason why I think it's an old lady now is because the original actor, I believe he died in 2016.
Sad.
Ava Goda. And I think Ava Goda was very old. I think he was like 98, 97 when he died. Yeah.
Sad.
I mean, he was old, and like he was gonna die like someday, sometime.
Well, he did. Well, Ed did say he's 77 years old, and we don't know if he's gonna die yet.
Yeah. But yeah, so Ava Goda passed away. But also, did you notice that the original manager was not there? Mr. Bailey?
Yeah, he was not there no more.
Do you know why?
No, I do not.
He got fucking canceled.
How?
Okay, so that guy...
He got canceled? What he got canceled for?
Okay, so let me explain.
All right.
So the actor who played the manager in the original Good Burger, he was played by this guy named Dan Schneider. Dan Schneider, he's not really known for acting, but he's more known for writing and producing TV shows. So he was responsible for writing and creating shows like iCarly, Drake and Josh, and Victorious. And so for a long time, he was basically like Nickelodeon's like golden boy. Like he was like their golden goose. Like he would just create hit after hit after hit for them.
Wonk, wonk.
And then after a certain point, his shows stopped becoming successful. And so Nickelodeon decided to terminate their contract with Dan Schneider. But also throughout the years, there have been many like allegations against Dan Schneider that he was very like inappropriate with like female cast members on his show. And also like a lot of people claim that he was very like creepy, because a lot of the shows that he would work on, like iCarly, Victorious, most of the cast was female cast members.
Yep.
And a lot of them were like underage.
Oh yeah, really underage.
And so a lot of people accused them of showing creepy behavior on set. And also like a lot of the shows like iCarly and Victorious, a lot of them were accused of writing like very inappropriate sexual stuff into the shows. Because if you rewatch a lot of episodes of Victorious and iCarly, you'll see like weird sexual stuff in those shows.
I remember those scenes.
Yeah. And also like a lot of the shows have like scenes where like young girls are taking off their shoes and showing off their feet. So,
Tarantino moment.
Yeah, exactly. And so Dan Schneider is kind of like the kid show version of Tarantino because he has a foot fetish. And so Dan Schneider got fired from Nickelodeon, and then later on a lot of actresses and a lot of people who worked on these shows accused him of being just creepy behind the scenes. So Dan Schneider, so no way were they going to bring back Dan Schneider for this new movie.
Damn, man.
But so they replaced the manager character with a new character, like a younger character, who's kind of like a mama's boy and kind of nervous. And then also Keenan's, or should I say Dexter's niece, works in the Good Burger restaurant too.
Yep.
And so part of Dexter's motivation to change, or part of his character arc, is him reconnecting with his niece and his sister. But didn't you find it kind of odd that we didn't really see the sister throughout the movie?
No, until the very end.
Yeah, till the very end, which I thought was like a missed opportunity, because yeah, he bonds with his niece, and he builds a bridge or what am I trying to say? He bonds with his niece to repair their relationship, but we don't really see the sister until the very end, and it's just like a quick scene.
Yeah,
like,
very quick.
Like in and out. That's it. And like their conflict gets resolved in one scene, and I thought, that kind of sucks. They could have written it in a way where like they would have more scenes of him reconnecting with his sister.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Oh, and also Kel, or should I say Ed, has a lot of kids. And one of his kids is actually a supporting character throughout the movie. What did you think of Ed's kids?
I thought it was like a carbon copy of them.
Yeah, he pretty much was like Ed 2.0.
Yes.
And I actually kind of do like the kid's impression, because he does a very spot on impression of Kel Mitchell,
and he works in Good Burger too.
Yeah, because you know that's his thing. It's a father-son business essentially, and yeah.
You know what? One thing I just realized.
What?
We have not talked about. They made a cameo of the original cast. They brought the original cast in the show just so they can defrost them and send them back home.
Oh, right. Well, I was going to get to that in a little bit. So one of the things, I don't know about you, I didn't really like that scene.
I didn't. It was like, how did he aged?
Yeah, because like there's a lot of scenes in this movie that really have nothing to do with like the plot, or they're just there for like just like a quick joke and that's it. But usually the joke is not that funny. So there's a scene where like they open up a freezer, which the handle was broken for 20 years. They open it and they reveal that one of the original actors from the first movie was stuck in the freezer for 20 years, and and they defrost him. And then when they defrost him, you think that he's probably going to be like a main character, or he's going to be part of the plot. No, he just shows up and he leaves. And
yeah.
like, what the fuck?
So basically, it's just him getting defrosted, him talking like, oh, I just remember Ed saying that the door handle broke and left, and he forgot about me. And then he like, wait, I've missed high school, I missed college, my family must be worried about me. And then ran off. Before he ran off, he's like, oh, a grown up handsome, and then ran off again.
Yeah, and he doesn't come back in the movie like at all. And I genuinely thought that he was gonna be part of the plot. Like
I thought too.
He was gonna be part of the main cast. But no, he just leaves. And I was like asking myself, what the fuck was that all about? He just shows up and then leaves. It's like, what the fuck?
You know what my original thought was?
What?
He was gonna be the son of that evil girl, of that evil company's mother. Like he was the son of that evil company.
Nah, because in the first
like a cousin, or if that didn't work, he would have been a relative of that evil company. Like he's the only relative he has left.
Well, because remember, he's in the first one, and then they never mentioned like, oh, the manager dude is my cousin or whatever.
I know, but I was just thinking like, because we're making a second one.
How would that even work?
I don't know. I was thinking like,
then how would you think that would happen?
I don't know. I'm just spitballing, like thinking, oh, this part happened, or this part happened. I just
genuinely thought that they were just gonna give him his job back or something.
Honestly, yeah.
And he was just gonna be part of the new crew. Also, the one girl from the original movie, the one who talks like a lot, she shows up very early on in the movie, and I thought her scene was okay. It was just like that scene was just a callback to the original. Yeah. What else? Let's talk about the villain.
Oh yeah, the villain is the sister of the guy that got arrested from the original movie, and she planned her revenge to steal Goldberger, sell Goldberger out of the public, and finally get the sauce that the brother was always trying to get.
Exactly, and what's interesting is that the original guy, he doesn't appear in the movie like as a cameo. They just use like his photo and like some video of him like in place of that. And I think the reason why is because that original actor, I believe he no longer acts anymore. I think he stopped acting around like 2005 or 2006, around that time. So he's no longer like a working professional actor. So he probably didn't want to come back for just like a bullshit cameo because he's out of the business. So who knows what happened there. So instead of the original guy, it's the sister of the original guy.
Because I originally thought it was gonna be him. Like, guess who's back?
Yeah.
Back again.
I originally thought that too, but I looked it up on Wikipedia, and yeah, he stopped acting around like 2006 or something.
Oh, all right.
Because honestly, that guy from the original movie, the villain, I've never seen him in anything else other than Good Burger.
Huh. All right.
He's just like one of those actors who, you know, he got. I wouldn't say like Big Burger was like his big break, but he got an opportunity to be in a movie, and unfortunately, the movie was not a hit. And so other opportunities didn't come from that. So I guess he probably just had to quit and choose another career because, you know, at a certain point, like, what's the point if you're not making a good living being in the career that you're in? But yeah, so one thing that I did find interesting about this movie is the commentary about the villains. So in the original one, hey,
sorry,
dude,
I was looking at something.
No, dude, if you're gonna do that, at least keep it silent. Come on.
I didn't know it was video. I was just looking at it.
What the fuck? How did you not know it was video?
It didn't show it as a video. It looked like a picture. I was looking at it.
I'd prefer if you did not scroll through your phone. I'd prefer if you would, you know, pay attention and listen to the conversation.
I am.
But if you have to do that, keep your phone on fucking silent. It's going to ruin the audio.
All right, just continue on. Go.
All right, so one thing that I found interesting about the villain is that also this villain... Well, the villains are also another allegory. So in the original, the commentary for the villains was that corporations are bad because they're more driven by profits than actually creating a quality product. And you can use that, you can compare that to like the movie industry. Like, you know, a lot of big studios will only want to sell you crap to make the most money, but they don't want to put the time and effort to create like a quality like show or movie. And
which kind of makes sense because sometimes there are shows that it's high in quality but it's not very popular, and some shows that are shit are actually pretty good. So it makes yeah, honestly. So it really makes sense like why they represented that.
But in this one, it takes it's kind of targeting tech companies like Facebook, Tesla.
Oh yeah,
like those companies.
Yeah, and this movie, the second movie is really like focusing like people are trying to take away humanity and replace it with robots and AI.
Yeah. So this new one, it focuses a lot on AI. So I think the commentary with the villains in the second one is that the writers and the director are warning us like this is the future we can have with AI. AI is going to take all these jobs away from people because that's essentially like the conflict with Good Burger and the Mega Good Burger is that the employees lose their jobs and now they're worried how they're going to make a living, how they're going to survive. And so, you know, like the first one, there was some pretty good commentary on the villains. But aside from that, I didn't really like how this movie played out. Like, here's the thing. Like in the original movie had like good sort of like escalation and good stakes. You know, we started off at one point in the movie where like, you know, it's just like Ed and Dexter are just, you know, they're trying to become friends. Dexter's trying to earn money to fix the car that he broke. But as the movie goes on, you know, the conflict and the stakes started to raise and raise and raise. And it ended in a big climax with them destroying Mondo Burger. In this one, I never really felt that the stakes were being raised and raised and raised. It kind of just, things happened and then things ended. That's how I sort of felt about like the movie. Didn't like, am I wrong? Like, did you feel that too? Like, you know, things,
there were no stakes at all.
No stakes, no escalation in the movie?
No, it was no stakes at all. No stakes was risen. No like casualties will happen. No, nothing. It was just a skit. A little basically funny. It was just a funny little skit, annoying skit. And that's it. Yeah, that's all. That's all what it was.
They tried to add too many jokes, but a lot of the jokes didn't land in this movie, and it's very hard for me to think about any jokes that I liked in this movie. To be honest, the only things that I liked is when they would reference the original movie.
Yeah,
and that's
they
not
did.
Good.
Yeah, the only thing that they made jokes is like the original movie class. That's it.
Yep. Anything else about this movie that you want to mention before we like give our final thoughts? Because I don't know what else to say about this film.
Honestly, the movie itself, I liked it. They showed like the adult versions of the characters, and everything else, the new cast, twins, triplets, and like new characters. The old man became an old lady.
Well, I mean,
the silent cook become the triplet that gets confusing.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's like its own original thing. It's okay, but comparing to the first one,
yeah, in this movie they did recreations of a lot of old scenes from the first movie.
And also in the second one, remember the lot that the manga burger was in?
Yeah,
they replaced it with houses and street vendors.
Yeah. I don't know.
Like they kept the original Good Burger, but took off the realism from Good Burger. Like Good Burger is still at the same location, still graffiti from the second.
Mm-hmm.
Same location and everything. They just upgraded the car, the restaurant, and that's it. And the cast.
Yeah.
Everything else, I don't have nothing else to say. Just those.
I do
things.
have one more thing to mention. I noticed that half of the cameos were like cameos. Like half of the people who cameoed in the film were basically former or current cast members of Saturday Night Live. And they
I forgot about that.
And they were probably just there because of Keenan. Because like very early on in the movie, Ed is sleeping on the counter. Like they redo the dream sequence from the first movie, but in a different way. And the guy who wakes up Ed is Pete Davidson.
Yeah, Pete Davidson.
Who's a former cast member of Kenan Thompson from SNL. They did like a parody of We Are the World in the movie. Like, do you remember when like all the celebrities were singing to the camera?
Yeah.
So most of those celebrities were like Maya Rudolph, Andy Samberg, just like a lot of people from SNL. And again, it's like, oh, Keenan probably called them up and asked, hey, you want to be in Good Burger too? And they probably said, yeah, Keenan, we like you. But also like in that We Are the World scene, there's a cameo from the singer from the original movie, like the guy who's in the insane asylum. Like, do you remember that?
Yes.
George Clifton?
Yes.
And that's your reaction?
Yes.
Oh my God! Fucking pay attention to what I'm saying.
Yeah, I remember the big guy. Yeah, the big guy.
No, not the big guy. The guy with the dreadlocks.
The one with the glasses. Yeah, the glasses. There you go.
Dude, come on, get your head in the game. Oh my God! All right. Yeah. Second part kind of sucked.
It really did. It was still a good movie on its own. It's still good. But we're just saying that since we've seen the original one and watched the second one right after it shows.
Yeah, it really shows.
It shows. If you watched the first movie years ago and then like, oh yeah, I remember Good Burger. Let's go watch the second one. And you don't remember any details from it and you see it like, oh, this is a good movie. But if you watch the Good Burger and then watch Good Burger 2, you will see the difference and how it's weird.
Okay. So let's give our final ratings. So I would give this movie a 4 out of 10.
A 4 out of 10, that's understandable, honestly.
I really didn't like this one.
Yeah, mine, I'll give it a 5 just because it was fresh, it was new, but also very, very bad and everything. Yep. But the only parts that I really enjoyed in this movie was the family, them trying to come together to get Good Burger back.
Yep.
And them ruining the plan. That's all I enjoyed.
All right. This movie kind of sucked. It was badly shot. A lot of bad performances. And sometimes it was ugly looking. So this is not my favorite.
Yeah.
All right. So with that being said, thank you guys for joining us for our review of Good Burger 1 and 2. Tell us what you think about the movies down in the comments. Also, don't forget to leave us a like and review on wherever you listen to us, whether it be YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. My lovely co-host, tell the people where they can find you.
You guys can find me at Twitch at Dragon9074, which I'm still trying to figure out a name. I had a name, but somebody else already had it, so I had to think of not a creep. It was a made-up name. Like, oh, what about this? And someone else has it. So I'm very struggling trying to figure out a new name for myself.
Alrighty then. Thank you for joining us. Let's just remind the audience what we're going to be reviewing next.
Next, hopefully, if we are watching something else, we'll be reviewing Red versus Blue.
Yeah, Red versus Blue. And also, I want to do a quick review of the movie Wonka, whenever that comes out.
Yeah, we will do that as well.
Yeah, and then, just stick with us. There's going to be more content coming to you guys, especially in 2024. We're really excited where we're going to be taking this channel and this show.
We're also upgrading our equipment as well, so you will see more improvement later on our videos.
My nuts.
Yes, and the joke's still the same. So anything else you want to say?
No.
No?
No.
All right. As the high tune...
Well, I do have one thing to say.
What is it?
He's a dude. She's a dude. We're all dudes.
Okay. On a high note, I will end it how Ed ends every scene of the movie. Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. Can I take your order?
And that's a cut. Jesus Christ.
Honestly, I was expecting you to do it. I was setting it up for you to do it.
Nah, I talk too much.
Okay.